Hi, everybody. Hope you guys are having an excellent time watching all of these wonderful talks. I am really excited to bring another sponsor to the stage. We are bringing BandLab back for another year to talk about music marketing and music marketing metrics, all focused on how to help artists basically develop. So without further ado, I'm excited to bring Kevin back to Measure of Music. Welcome back, Kevin.
Hello, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
And I think we're ready to roll here. Let's see. Yep, there's my slides. All right. Well, hey there, welcome. This is Beyond Streams and Sales, the music marketing that matters. I'm Kevin Breuner. I'm head of artist development education at BandLab. And I hope everyone's having a good conference so far. Today, we're going to be talking about what success in music marketing really looks like and the things that are important to you as an artist. And I'm super excited for the session. So let's get into it. First up, and if you've already familiar with BandLab, let me know in the comments. If you're not familiar with BandLab, our vision is simple. It's a future where there are no boundaries to making and sharing music. In essence, it's a social collaboration platform, a DAW in your pocket. I have mine right here. I love BandLab. And in essence, it's a social, like I said, a social collaboration platform. And honestly, it's amazing. I've been using it all the time, and I'll share more details in just a bit. But first, I want to share a little bit about myself so you know my background and perspective on music and music marketing. My career has followed two parallel tracks. As an artist, I'm a guitarist, a songwriter, and producer. My longtime band, my career band, is a band called Small Town Poets. We've been at it for many years. Back in the day, we did well. We had a Grammy nomination, #1 songs in our genre. We sold 300,000 albums in the CD era. We had 3 Dove Award nominations. My music has been used by ABC, MTV, Peacock, and even the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. On the industry side, I've worked in digital music distribution since its inception. I built the DIY musician brand. You might know the podcast and conference I was a part of. And most of my work has been in marketing and helping artists grow in an evolving industry. Now I'm the head of artist development education at BandLab, and I couldn't be more excited about the state of music creation today. 2025 has already been a blast. I'm focused on creating like never before, and it's been super exciting and fulfilling. And speaking of that, I dropped a new track a couple weeks ago. I have a musical alter ego from my band. The musical alter ego is called Red Machine. And I just dropped a track called Mercury that I made entirely in BandLab. You can check that out on Spotify if you'd like. But speaking of BandLab, it has exploded my creativity. One of my favorite things is you don't have to be an engineer to create great sounding music. It's just incredible to have an idea in your head and actually bring it to life. And to me, that's what's been so seamless about using the platform. I'll just have a musical idea and want something to sound a certain way, and I can actualize that with the BandLab platform. And it gives you the tools to make music happen without spending hours learning production. Or, back in the day, I spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars buying drum samples and loops, and BandLab has an insane amount of sample packs for free that you can use, and they're amazing. A big personal goal for me in 2025 has been more collaborations with other artists. BandLab is built for collaboration. It's baked right into the platform. It's got social features and seamless recording tools that just make for effortless collaborations. I could launch a session right now and invite all of you. And by the end of the Music Matters conference, we could Measure of Music conference. By the end of the Measure of Music conference, we could all have a brand new track that we collaborated and recorded together. It's a lot of fun. And lastly, about BandLab, it also has some incredible AI tools built right in. I'm here in Montreal for the Folk Alliance conference, and I could be walking down the street and have a melody idea and sing it into my phone. And with the AI tools inside of BandLab, one of them being Voice Cleaner, I could clean up that vocal and make it perfectly clean like I recorded it in a studio and ready to be used in a song. So it really just unleashes your creativity. Plus, we've got a suite of promotion tools to help you boost your music. And for BandLab members, you get unlimited music distribution, so you can write, record, and release right from your own phone, and it's incredible. So I'd love for you to check it out, and you can connect with me there. It's got a social feature as well, and I'm just at K Breuner. I'm at K Breuner on all the platforms. So yeah, check it out and connect with him there. Maybe we'll work on a song together. Today we're talking about focusing on marketing metrics that matter, and let's start with a fundamental question. What does music marketing really mean anyway? It's something that we talk about a lot, but marketing is more than just promotion. It's about creating value, building connections, and meeting an audience's needs. And at its core, marketing answers key questions like, what makes this music unique? Who is the ideal audience? What is the artist's story or brand? How can a fan be led on a journey to a specific destination? That last one is huge. Many artists in their artist marketing don't always know what they're trying to lead their fans to do. They just kind of broadcast general messages, and it's not clear who it's for and what we're supposed to do with that information, which at its core, marketing is about guiding people on a journey. Marketing is a means to an end. And I said that to somebody and they thought that was sort of a controversial statement, but the goal of marketing is to make people fall in love with our music. And I think it's important to say in 2025, we want real music fans listening to our music, not fake streams, not bots. We want real fans connecting with our music. And there's a growing problem in the industry. We have more access than ever to release music and build audiences on our own terms, which is amazing. But many artists feel frustrated. They're putting in effort, but seeing less return. I was just having a conversation at the conference with an artist about that very thing. And when we're talking about return in marketing, that's called ROI, return on investment. So if artists are feeling like they're seeing far less return on the investment of time, money, resources, artists feel spread thin, juggling every platform just to keep up. And it seems like there's a new platform all the time. And it just is fatiguing trying to maintain all these different platforms that all work differently. And the unfortunate byproduct, marketing efforts have become centered around platforms and algorithms. And you can leave a message in the chat if you felt the pressure to chase the latest algorithm change, whether social media or Spotify. I hear more artists talking about the algorithm than they're talking about real fans. And that's a problem. And the result is artists are overly focused on numbers like Spotify, streams, TikTok views, rather than long-term fan building. And we've seen artists go viral, but fail to build lasting audiences. I think that's one of the biggest trends that we've seen lately, where something goes crazy viral and the impact that it has on that artist's music is very diminished from what it used to be. And we've seen the minimization of music value. Spotify now doesn't pay out until a track hits 1,000 streams. AI is making it easier than ever to replicate another artist's musical identity. The big question as artists, are we even focusing our efforts on the right thing? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Those right things that I think are more important for us to be focusing on as artists as we make music and we put it out into the world. But first, I need everyone who's watching this right now to acknowledge something, that data does not define you as an artist. It's worth stating that again. Data does not define you as an artist. The value of music is so much bigger than stream counts. Music brings joy, excitement, fun, new perspectives, peace, comfort. As I've gotten older, I've realized music is a lifelong pursuit for me. There's just as much mystery in the journey as there is mastery. And that mystery is what keeps me hooked, writing, recording, creating, because you never know what's going to happen, when something's going to connect, when something's going to work, and new doors of opportunity open. An example for you, I had a band in Portland called Hello Morning. We had a couple albums out. You can find them on Spotify. I think they still stand up, and it's some of my best guitar playing on those albums. but we haven't made music in over 10 years. And then suddenly I got a call to license one of those tracks that was 10 years old for the Tiger King biopic, Joe versus Carol on Peacock. And I'm sure you're familiar with the Tiger King story. It was all the rage, like in 2020 or 2021 during the pandemic when we were all stuck at home and everyone was stuck watching Netflix, and the Tiger King story just took over. So the scene where they used our song, Joe Exotic, he's just been arrested and thrown in jail. He's sitting on the bench all sad and angry. And then you hear my guitar part playing over and I just burst out laughing. But that's the magic of music, because you never know when it'll connect, when it'll be useful, and where it fits in with a story. And it definitely keeps me coming back for more. But beyond that, music is about telling the story of your personal journey. Even when it feels like no one is listening, growing as an artist is very empowering. I have a lot of thoughts on that lately. If there's time in the Q&A, I'll share, but especially around, even if no one's listening, growing as an artist is so empowering. And that's one of the things I mentioned BandLab, that I felt like I've been empowered to create like never before. And it just makes me feel so excited to make music. And the fact that I get to put my creations out into the world, that's everything. And here's the thing: the industry doesn't always measure success in ways that reflect your strengths. Maybe you have an incredible live show that draws people in, but that doesn't always translate to streams. The industry might not prioritize what you do best, and that doesn't mean you're falling short. I mentioned I'm at the Folk Alliance conference right now in Montreal, Canada, and I saw this band last night. I think they're called Lemon Bucket Orchestra, and it was like a guy with a bass drum, a sousaphone, several trombone players, a guitar player, and there was a fiddle and a singer, and they weren't singing in English. I'm not sure. I need to look them up to see what language they were singing in. But this was just a massive wall of sound, high energy. And I looked over to my coworker and I said, "This is freaking awesome. I don't think this could translate to the recorded experience. And you have to see this live." And lately, the industry has not been prioritizing that type of success and that type of experience. And that might be where you thrive. So it's really time to redefine marketing and success around metrics that actually matter to us as artists. Every artist is on a different path at a different stage in their career. The key is to track metrics that reflect real progress for you and your journey, not what the person on social media you see is doing. You can learn things from other artists, but it's really important to understand the metrics that are important to you. Indicators that tell you, yes, my career is moving forward. Yes, I'm gaining traction. Yes, I'm achieving my goals. Success is not one size fits all. And we're going to talk about focusing on what actually moves the needle for you. So I've got 3 different metrics that we're going to be talking about today. The first one is engagement. And that's become quite a buzzword in music marketing and just marketing in general. We hear the word engagement thrown around all the time. Half the time, I don't even know if people know what they're saying when they say engagement. But that's one metric we're going to look at, and how true engagement can really be a measurement of success. So marketing success starts with true engagement, not just numbers. It's not about reaching everyone. It's about connecting with the right people. So much of today's music is passive listening. It's just background noise. In fact, I had a conversation yesterday with somebody about this very thing, that it's rare that you can even go any place in today's society without music being present. And you're probably not even aware of it or paying attention to it, but it's there. And so much of that is just passive listening. Intentional listening is different. It's when people feel a connection, they seek it out, they want to experience it. Look at engagement as one of your key metrics. Whether you have 10 fans or 10,000 fans, are they engaging? That's what's important. For example, tickets to room capacity, like selling out a 100-cap venue, is a big deal. you might, oftentimes as artists, we're thinking, well, I sold out 100 cap room, but I really want the 1,000 cap room. It's like, focus on the people that were there, that were engaging, that were excited to be there. Another good metric, engagement metric to consider with your marketing is stream to save ratio on Spotify. Are listeners actually saving your music? I mentioned already that I dropped a new track under my Red Machine artist brand a couple weeks ago. And this is one of the things I was surprised to see. The overall stream numbers, I haven't cracked the 1,000 stream mark yet, but I was very excited about how many people who were listening that were saving the track. That's an indicator that people are liking it and connecting. The total number of streams is irrelevant because there's always more people to reach with your music. But that was a good one to really look at and feel encouragement, like, hey, something's connecting here. Be encouraged by that. Comments per like is another good one. Are they interacting? So when you're posting on social media or sending out emails, are people interacting with it? It doesn't matter if your list is big or small, your follower list numbers are big or small. It's a matter of like, do people seem to care about what you're doing? Watch time to views is another good one, especially on YouTube. Are they watching until the end of your videos? And oftentimes these things can be indicators of where people are engaging and where they're checking out. But looking at how much time people are watching your videos is an indicator that, yeah, I'm doing something that's connecting with people. And that's more important than the overall numbers. Again, your journey is unique. So you got to stop comparing yourself to metrics of other artists. There's always going to be people that have more followers, more streams, more reach than you. I mean, we're all not, ultimately up to like Taylor Swift and Coldplay. It's like, none of us are going to be that, most likely. Maybe the next Coldplay is watching this right now. If you are, please remember me when you're huge and famous. But your journey is unique, and you got to stop comparing your metrics to the other artists. A big question is, what are you trying to accomplish? I mentioned that you're leading fans on a journey, and oftentimes artists don't know where they're trying to lead their fans. Clear goals are the foundation of any great marketing plan. They help you measure progress, stay focused, and refine your strategy as you go. If you work in the business world, you've probably heard the term SMART goals before. If not, there's something that's very important for creating just marketing plans, messaging plans, and something to consider as you make and release your music into the world and want people to do something with it. So SMART goals, it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. We'll go down the list. So specific, clearly define what you want to achieve. And I bet every artist who hears this, and myself, I'd be in this boat too, we'd be like, yeah, I know what I want to achieve. I want to star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I want to be playing huge stadiums. Those are great dream goals. There's nothing wrong with having a dream goal. I think those can be very motivating. But when we talk about actually marketing our music, we need specific, clearly defined goals that you want to achieve. And they need to be measurable so you can make sure that progress is tracked. Oftentimes we have a goal, but we haven't figured out how to measure it. And it can feel like we're just chasing our tails, not really understanding if all the time and effort and money that we're putting into something is actually moving us towards that specific goal that we've outlined. It needs to be achievable. And that's why I mentioned it's good to have dream goals, but I've got some goals for this new music brand I have, Red Machine, but it may involve playing very large music venues, but that's not achievable right now. So I need to set realistic goals that have some ambition, but that I can achieve. They need to be relevant to what I want to accomplish or what you want to accomplish with what you're doing. And having them be time-bound is very important, meaning it can't be open-ended. We're artists. You give us an open-ended deadline, it's just never going to happen. Because I know for me, my best work happens typically, the day before something's due and the goodness comes out. And so I've got to give myself those deadlines. Otherwise, it'll just get put off and put off. um, forever. And so really thinking about when you're setting up marketing plans and you're thinking about engagement, think about what the SMART goals are for you and your music with that release or your tour or an upcoming show and everything around it. And it'll really help you really focus in on the things that matter and ensure that you're moving your career forward. The biggest complaint I hear from artists these days is that they just feel like marketing does nothing. And usually when I dig into a lot of that, when I'm doing mentoring sessions and such, it really comes down to they haven't figured out any of these things and they're just taking stabs in the dark, and that just doesn't work. I've got a case study for you of this very thing in action. This is Chris Robley. It's his live stream. It's a case study about his live stream. Chris is a coworker of mine. I've known Chris and worked with Chris for almost 20 years. We're basically like joined at the hip. He's here at Folk Alliance with me. The LA Times once called him the Stephen King of indie music, and he writes great indie pop, folk. He's just a very accomplished songwriter. Chris wanted to play live more, but couldn't tour due to his current family situation. He also lives kind of in a remote area of the country. He lives in Maine, and he plays like once a month or once every couple months, but he wanted to be playing more. He felt like he wasn't as sharp of a live performer as he used to be. He needed a way to engage fans without touring. So he set a clear goal for 2025. Use a weekly Thursday live stream that he calls Lunch Songs Live to drive fan engagement, improve his performance chops, and build a thriving community. So that's a very specific goal. His starting point, he had a fan email list of 2,000 people. And when he first started doing, he dabbled in these live streams previously, but to start the year, he's like, I'm going to do this consistently, and I'm going to build this, and I'm going to put some goals around it. When he had done this in the past, and the ones that he did at the beginning of the year, he was averaging about 25 live viewers per week. His goal is 75 weekly viewers by the end of the year. So he's got a specific goal, 75 weekly viewers. And he's not talking about just like one random week where he gets 75 and it's back to 25. He wants it to build where that's sustainable. He wants to see that happen by the end of the year. It's specific. It's an achievable goal with a clear metric for success. And he's focused on marketing around a meaningful event. And he and I were diving in and talking about it and how he's going to make it sustainable, because it's got to be something that people want to come back to. So he started adding some very interactive engagement elements, because he doesn't want people just watching passively. In order for it to become fun and something you want to come back to week after week and invite your friends to, it's got to be engaging. He came up with one of these things. He asked the viewers about an obscure historical event, and then he creates a song on the fly with the help of the audience about this whatever obscure historical event that people throw out. And I've seen a few of them. It's quite obscure. And it just becomes this fun, entertaining thing. It feels that audience connection, even though it's a live stream and there can feel like a disconnect, like we're not all in the same room right now, hanging out and talking about music. We're over the internet, but it can still be engaging and fun. And as we talked about how he could grow it, to get to that number, to sustain it at 75 people, I was telling him, I'm like, Chris, this isn't just about you. It's about you being the host of this communal event that happens every week. Ideas that we tossed around on how he could grow this to that 75 sustainable weekly number was, hey, you can bring other artists on. This isn't just your music. It doesn't have to be just your music. Bring other artists on that you either know or have an appreciation for. They invite their audience, and you keep doing that, and it expands beyond just your reach and starts building into the reach of other artists' audience. And then again, you're the host of this communal event, and you could be seen more as a curator where your music is a centerpiece, but your weekly event becomes about lifting up the whole community and people that love a certain type of music. And the long-term impact, this whole time I've never mentioned streams, I haven't mentioned merch sales or anything like that, but the long-term impact of creating this type of event will be more engaged fans, which mean more streams, which means more merch sales and future ticket sales. He's starting with the engagement. The Spotify numbers will come later because they follow with real fan connections. And if you want to follow his journey, just search Chris Robley on YouTube. And he's at Chris Robley on all the platforms. But the Lunch Song Live, he does a great job with it. And I would encourage you to check it out as a way of like, hey, this is what an artist is doing to put this in practice. All right, next up, we're going to talk about impact. I want to highlight impact as a better success metric for your music marketing. How is your music impacting the people and communities in the world around you? Impact is a powerful success metric. Instead of just focusing on streams or follower accounts, ask, how is my music impacting people around me? Music is a powerful force. Your reach may be small, but your influence into the lives of people listening to your music could be huge. I was listening to a podcast years ago where Gary Vee was a guest on. I don't know if you're familiar with Gary Vee. He's one of those social media marketing gurus. He has some great advice out there. And he was talking about giving your all no matter your audience size, whether there's 10 people, 100 people, or 10,000 people listening, that you should show up fully. And he was talking about in the space of social media, which I think we all participate in. But I think for artists, this can also be in the live show arena as well. Oftentimes, we're playing a show and there's like the audience turn out smaller than we expect. And we're like, this blows. Nobody came. Like, no, people came and they're there to see you. Give them your best. And his point was, you never know who is in the room or how your music will impact them. And that's one of those things that I've always taken to heart and thought about, because it's like we tend to focus on the inverse of that, as opposed to, I have no idea who the 20 people that did show up to the show, who they are, what might be going on in their lives, what influence they might have in their world. They might be a huge fan and work for a movie studio or have a podcast of their own or some other reach that just being there fully for them will have impact on them, that they go out and evangelize on your behalf. And questions to ask yourself as it relates to this. Does my music help build the community? Does it define a moment in time? What causes or organizations align with my values? Am I using my music to connect just beyond promotion? These all are marketing opportunities. And when we talk about marketing, I think in this term, because we're talking about impact, you're really thinking about connection points. Marketing is just trying to connect your music to the people that will care about it, that have some sort of draw to it, that there's some sort of shared values oftentimes, or just alignment in worldview. And oftentimes these things exist in our lives and we're just ignoring them. And they're amazing opportunities to connect with people around your music, and your music can bring meaning into certain situations. Fans relate to the honesty in your music. You're likely all writing songs about your experiences, struggles, and passions. People connect with that more deeply than just stream my music. And it's, I can open up X right now and do a search for stream my music. I'm sure I'll get thousands and thousands of posts. I've done it before for buy my music, and it was one time I saw someone post, buy my music because I need to eat. And oftentimes we're so self-centered in how we market our music, but we're missing the meaning and the value of music. Sometimes we're so focused on Spotify numbers that we overlook real reactions. When someone says, wow, that song meant something to me, that's impact. Don't discount those moments as part of your marketing success. Ask your fans how your music has impacted them. This is something you can do no matter how many fans you have. Even if you have 5, ask them how your music has impacted their lives. Their responses can be amazing content for social media and deeply rewarding for you as an artist. But always ask for permission before sharing their words publicly, because they might have said something that, you know, they thought they were just having this deep private exchange with an artist they love, and then you go plaster it all over social media. Most likely they're going to say yes and let you do that, but it's good to ask for permission. But this is called social proof. That's a marketing term that gets thrown around a lot, social proof. Fans saying, this artist matters, this artist impacts me, their music means something to me. And plus, it's a powerful reminder of why you make music in the first place. Let's see what time. We've got a time check going on. We got 10 minutes left, so I'm gonna skim through the next ones quickly. So one story from my band. We were playing this house show. It was one of those gigs between two bigger shows, and we reached out to our fans and like, anyone want to host us for a house show? Somebody said yes. We had no prior connection with this fan. We just knew they were fan enough to bring us into their house. And we did the house show. It was awesome. They were an amazing host. And afterwards, they said to us, hey, I want to talk to you about something. We're like, oh man, what did we do? Or who broke something? Or are we not getting paid? What's the deal? And we all sat down and he began to tell us this story. He's like, my favorite song of yours, and he's told us what it wasn't in the set tonight, but I need you to know something. He said, a few years back, I was going through one of the darkest moments of my life. And your song got me through it. It was like a month long. It was just total darkness. And I was hanging on every word of your song. And I need you to know how impactful that was for me. And as an artist, we're all just like all about to break out crying. And just that moment, it was like I felt completely fulfilled as an artist. The largest show I've played to in my career is to 100,000 people. I've played arenas, I've played stadiums. And moments like this are the moments I remember and that keep me going as an artist, where I felt like I changed that person's life. And we broke out the guitars and we all played that song and sang it together. And it was an amazing moment. It was one of those things where you're like, man, this is why I make music. All right, we only have a few minutes left. I'm going to jump into fan-centric activity. You need to unleash the creativity of your fans. Music marketing has seen a dramatic shift where big moments happen by allowing others to use your music in ways. So how are you encouraging your fans to create? Make it easy. Provide stems, remix packs, or instrumental versions. Think ahead. Tap into holidays, trends, and cultural moments. And by trends, I don't mean the latest TikTok trend. One thing my band did during the pandemic, we released a live album because we couldn't play, and we had this live album sitting there. And adult coloring books were big at the time. So we created a coloring contest for our fans to coincide with the release of our live album. And we encouraged fans to download this coloring sheet. They colored it. They posted it online, which helped promote our release. And we gave people prizes for the best coloring sheet. So think things like that. I think it's called user-generated content. So leverage that, encourage fans to share, and then celebrate fan-made content like covers. Encourage them to do covers. That's one of the biggest user-generated content type is cover songs. Have them make videos of your song and do remixes. And engage directly and collaborate and build community around your music. And it makes it fun for them to participate. So the results after all of this is that you end up with true engagement plus an impact mindset plus fan-centric marketing, and you make authentic connections. When this clicks, fans start reaching out unprompted because your music truly resonates. That's one of the things. I was talking to an artist, and they said, when I realized I was onto something is that people started reaching out to me, letting them know that the music had impact. We don't have much time, so you should screenshot this if you can. I think this will be available later to watch afterwards. But here's some ideas on how to create sustainable growth, and it comes from consistent, intentional actions. Focus on what drives your music forward. And there's some good marketing habits that I even remind myself of often, because it's very easy to forget and go back to bad habits and old patterns of trying to reach out to fans. And I'll end with this. People don't just listen to music, they connect with it. Fans are drawn to artists who create a sense of belonging, meaning, and shared experiences. Making music should be about creating art, because that is what's necessary for you to be fulfilled as a human. And I hope your journey and your excitement for making music is around that feeling. They can make all the AI computers they want. I'm still going to be writing, recording, and making music, even if no one's listening, because I have to. I will be making music until I die. And music provides so much joy, comfort, and excitement, and we get to be the people who bring that into the world. And when you're excited about your music, that enthusiasm is contagious, and it flows out into your marketing, into the community, and it builds a career that feels very satisfying. And I think we have time for just a couple questions. So if we have any questions, I'm not sure how we're going to handle that. All right, we've got one on screen. As the head of artist development at BandLab, you emphasize that music's value extends beyond streams and data points. How do you approach empowering artists to grow their creative journey while also providing them with tools and support to navigate the industry evolving landscape, especially when it comes to long-term career development? This is a great question, because actually that's one of the things that when I was getting the job at BandLab and this title, I was highlighting that I feel like artist development, the industry at large has abandoned, and that it's important for us to go back and providing that development process for artists to get better and grow. In BandLab, we've got a lot of tools baked in. I think the collaboration piece is great, because you can work with other artists, and I'm always trying to find collaborations with people where I'm stretched, where I'm pushed to limits, where I'm probably a little bit, out skilled and talented by the person I'm working with, but that makes me grow. And I think focusing on, I think so much artist development has also been stalled out by artists. Someone writes a song and then they spend all their time and energy on social media trying to create something there, as opposed to continuing to grow themselves. An artist is a music maker, is a creator, is someone that's passionate about doing that and bringing that into the world. And we don't have time to really dive into a lot of them, but if you haven't downloaded BandLab, do it, and you'll see that there's a lot of tools to help you grow and continue that journey. We have a whole opportunities section that allows you to pitch your music for various opportunities, that a lot of them are growth opportunities. I'm not sure what our time situation is.
We are unfortunately out of time, Kevin.
Okay.
This was excellent. We have so much more questions that we didn't get a chance to get to. Everyone's very excited about BandLab. I love this perspective. I know everyone came to my music tech and data conference thinking we're only going to talk about data, and it's more than that. It's bigger than that. It is qualitative. Yeah. It is relationships. All of this is good. So hopefully everyone really enjoyed this talk, Kevin. It was lovely to have you back again. Really,
and I'm just at K Breuner on all the socials and on BandLab. Feel free to reach out if you have questions. I'm excited. I'm having more fun making music than ever before, and
we love to see it. We love to hear it. We love the positive energy, just like Lauren just said. Very good. All right, that's a wonderful note to end on. Thank you so much, Kevin, for your time. Thank you, everyone else. We are headed to our first panel.